right, first up this morning, how to organize your kitchen so you can cook in peace. Our next guest has 3 tips that will save time, stress, and the hassle of running out of last-minute ingredients. So joining me now is Andrew Mellen. He is considered by some the most organized man in America. Hello to you.
Hey, good morning, Molly.
Last time we talked to you, I said to our executive producer, I'm like, that guy we got to have back. I love everything you say, and I think everybody wants to live a more organized life. Great to see you again.
Likewise. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get into some of these tips, starting with your first one. And I think sometimes your tips sound so simple, but they're probably more simple to understand than maybe to implement. So your first one is think and create distinct kitchen zones.
Yeah, well, if you think about commercial kitchens, if you've ever worked in a commercial kitchen or you've ever seen one on TV or in the movies, everything is zoned. And we just want to bring that into our residential kitchens as well. And many of us have some version of it. I mean, the idea of like with like in the organizational triangle, right? If we're thinking cleaning with cleaning, prep and cooking and baking go together. Food storage and freezing go together. Beverages go together. We have a general sense of that, but if we actually dial it in, it makes everything function so much better in the kitchen. So it's taking what your natural impulses would be. Like most people keep their cleaning supplies under their kitchen sink, and it'd be unlikely that you would have your pots and pans there too, unless you had a really small kitchen. So it's just taking these fundamental principles and just dialing it in and being super specific about like, okay, this is now where I'm going to do all of my prep work, or this is where I'm going to do all of the stuff where I'm applying heat to food, whether that's cooking or baking. All of this stuff is going to get zoned over here, and likewise food storage, right? So that the Tupperware doesn't end up with the pots and pans.
Right, I gotcha. The kitchen that we're using as an example, is that your kitchen?
It is. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I love that. That's fascinating. You know, one of the things that I think about when you talk about zones is a lot of people will have their refrigerator, but then nowhere next to it or close to it to set things. So you're pulling stuff out of your fridge to cook or to prepare something, and then you don't have a place to set it.
Right. Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that your countertops are clear of, I would say, anything that you don't use on a daily basis. I make smoothies every day, so my blender's out. I'm not eating. I was listening to the earlier segment, right? I think I get my white fat from my dad, so I'm not eating a lot of carbs. The toaster isn't on the kitchen counter anymore. I put it under the counter. So if I'm making toast, I'll pull it out. But toast isn't something I eat every day.
See, that's such a great point. If you make a smoothie every day, like you should have your blender out. But if you're not making toast, you put it away, or that's an appliance you can store. Okay, the next one you borrow from the French, and this has to do with putting things in a certain space, right? Tell us the phrase.
So mise en place really just means putting in place. And if you've watched any cooking show ever, they use mise en place all the time. So, I mean, it sounds fancy and French, but it really just means doing all of your prep work first. Again, we have the impulse that, like, if you're sauteing onions and garlic, you'll chop those first and throw them in the frying pan, but then you're not really taking it all the way to the natural conclusion, and then you're in the middle of sauteing and you're starting to chop up the chicken or the other vegetables. Instead, just prep it all before. Everything is appropriately measured, so then you're literally just cooking when you're cooking, you're prepping when you're prepping. And one of the great side benefits is that if you are out of an ingredient, you will be super clear on it long before it comes time to actually cook. You'll be able to, if you're out of an ingredient, you'll be able to run to the store. You'll also know in advance as you're doing the prep work, aha, these are the exact measurements. You don't then need to, well, what is a cup of milk? Or, what is 4 ounces of whatever an ingredient might be. Everything's already chopped up and ready for you to go. Makes cooking super quick and super easy. And for example, like Rachel Ray on her 30 Minutes show, everything is prepped. That's how she manages to get everything done in 30 minutes. So if you want to be able to do the same sort of a thing, prep everything in advance.
Yeah, it definitely speeds up the process of cooking something, which I love, and then you can visualize it too. Your last one is divide large drawers with dividers or organizers. And I think about my kitchen utensils because my utensils are floating around in this big, shallow drawer, and it's frustrating.
Of course, yeah. Something as simple as a bamboo divider that you can get at a place like Bed Bath & Beyond or a Container Store, any of those kinds of places. it just helps you to keep, again, knives with knives, and cooking spoons with spoons, whisks with whisks, spatulas with spatulas, so that instead of you having to waste time digging in a drawer, moving things out of your way, everything is neatly segregated, type with type, so that when you're looking for something, it makes it that much easier to find what you're going for instantly.
Oh, those drawers look fantastic, Andrew. I love it. It was wonderful to have you join us again. Come back again soon.
I will. Have a great day, everybody.
Absolutely. You too. And for more of Andrew's great tips, head to his website. It's andrewmellen.com.